Aloha and welcome back. We are today down visiting with Mr. Ghilardi. We had our legal lunch last Wednesday, and today we're bringing one of the homeowners who's studying the law with us who needs legal representation. So we have brought him down here today to meet with Mr. Ghilardi, and he brought his paperwork about foreclosure. So we're going to talk about that today. So stay tuned. We're going to have you meet with David and Mr. Ghilardi and learn more how to protect your home.
Aloha, Mr. Ghilardi. My name's David. I was at the legal luncheon in Eva Beach, and the people down there told me to come see you, Lee, and the group, because I got this letter. I don't know exactly what it is. I just was wondering if you could help me.
Well, nice to meet you,
Figure
David.
it out.
Let me take a look at what you've got here
Thank you.
and see if we can help you. Okay, this is called a complaint. And this is the initial document that is filed by the banks or the servicing agent
Yes, sir.
to foreclose on your house. Now, you
Okay.
probably would have gotten letters earlier than this. And
I probably did. I think I might have ignored them. I don't know. That's probably not the thing to do, ignore this, but this one seems a little bit more serious.
yeah, the worst thing you can do in a foreclosure action is ignore it. Because what will happen is that if you don't defend yourself, they will foreclose on your house. Normally what happens first is you get a notice of default, which means that you haven't paid your mortgage payment.
Guilty on that, yes.
And the first thing you should do under those circumstances is call the bank and see if there's something that they can work out.
I see.
And very often they will be willing to talk to you and come up with something. You can also come and see me because you probably won't understand what it is.
Right. It's all, even the simplest paperwork to me just seems so legalistic, you know. And I am guilty. I'm a procrastinator, so I did get some letters before this. But if you could explain to me maybe where we could go from here and what the next step is.
Okay, well that's
I would
exactly
appreciate
correct.
that.
Now what we need to do from here is we need to file an answer to the complaint. It's a formal pleading in court. And it also sets out the many defenses that you might have. Many of these foreclosures are unwarranted because the person that's
Really?
because the person actually making the foreclosure doesn't have the right to do that. And I won't go into the details of it.
It's
but
kind of a legal standing thing. I know I've heard of standing or something like
yes,
that.
in other words,
Supreme Court
what has
things.
happened in the past, starting in the around 2004, they've started taking mortgages like the one you have and bundled them together
Right, I heard about
in
that.
what we call securitized trusts, so that they then would sell the interest in the trust to banks all over the world. And so a trust may have, or a bank may have, really an interest in the trust, not an interest in the note and mortgage that you have.
I see.
So what we do is, as soon as we file an answer for you, then we will start discovery. And that is, you have the right in civil cases to find out everything you can possibly find out from the other side. Make them give you a copy of the mortgages, find out who is authorized to sign on if these mortgages have been transferred. Was the transfer legal? And it can get quite extensive and spend quite a bit of time doing that. And that's the best way to do it.
Right. So that's what happened with the whole housing thing, wasn't it? That the bundling and all that. That's where I
Yeah.
heard
Well,
that,
what
I believe,
happened
yes.
was, for about the last 10 or 15 years, the government has been allowing mortgage companies and banks to give loans that probably shouldn't have been given in the first place.
Right.
So that the person really has no way of paying it. What happens is they'll give you we call it a teaser rate. So
Mm.
maybe the first year or two, it may be 1% or 0.5%,
Right.
or in some cases, the rate is 2, 3, or 4%, but you're only required to pay the 1% over the first few years of the loan. What happens then is your payment doubles. It sometimes even triples
Wow.
in a very short period of time, which makes it impossible for you to pay the mortgage.
Right.
But again, these are all defenses that have to be fought
Mm-hmm.
through court. And we've been quite successful with these things.
I see. Mine, I've had mine for a long time. It's just a matter of getting laid off, and I haven't been able to keep up with it, and got behind. And then, like I said, I'm a procrastinator, and that's probably the worst thing to do. I should have came and saw you sooner. How would I retain your services now?
We would probably execute a retention agreement. In fact, a retainer agreement is required by the Hawaii Bar Association. And we'll agree to the terms,
Okay.
and then I will make an appearance for you in court by filing the answer. And then soon after that, we would begin, like I said earlier, the discussion about discovery.
Thank you for that. So I believe I do want to retain you. Want to go forward with this. What are some of the options we can do from here? I've heard of different things, bankruptcy, things like that.
Well, bankruptcy isn't something that I ever tell a client to do right away.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you need to do is find out of what's this matter made of. In other words, what are the mortgages? Where are the documents? What's going on? If it proves that the mortgage is foreclosable, then we go into some other areas. Under the federal bankruptcy code, you can file bankruptcy and still keep your house.
Really?
Yes. You will basically renegotiate the lease, or excuse me, the note and mortgage with the client, and with the force of the bankruptcy court, the court will cram down basically on the creditor that new terms. All right, now again, that is always the last resort.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay.
So there are other options.
Yes, another option is called a loan modification.
Hmm.
All right, what we do is we negotiate with the bank, and tell the bank how much you can afford, show what you can afford, all those kinds of
That would
things.
be good.
Under the state law of Hawaii, as long as you're being involved in a loan modification process,
Mm-hmm.
the servicer or the bank cannot foreclose or cannot continue a foreclosure.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
So the key to it is I get into it and start looking at what we've got, and then you and I will get together and make a determination of what's best for you in this course. And maybe there's a bunch of things we do all at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, but that's basically the way
I
it
see.
works.
Thank you. So you need to maybe check on this, whatever they sent me there, and
Yeah,
get
this
the
complaint, I'll have to
specifics of-
review it,
uh-huh.
and then I'm going to probably make an appointment with you in another week or so,
Alrighty.
and you bring me whatever papers that you have.
Those other
with
letters I've received.
The letters, and
yes.
hopefully somewhere along the line, you have a copy of the mortgage and the note. They would have given you one at your closing. A lot of people
Right.
don't keep them, but it's a good thing to have them.
It's probably buried with some of my other papers and
Mhm.
things like that.
I'm sure
I'll
it
look
is.
for that for you.
Okay, and
Yes.
then we'll get back together. We'll probably have a number of meetings as this arises and it moves along.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, it sounds good to me. You sound like you really know what you're doing, and I appreciate that. That's what I need. I need somebody that can fight for me and help me get over this hurdle in my life.
Well,
here.
I do know the area well. I actually represented banks for many years
Oh, really?
and did foreclosures And then through kind of a life experience that I had 5 or 6 years ago, I decided to change sides.
Oh, good.
And I've been at this for over 35 years, and I do know what I'm doing.
I believe you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Okay, good. Then we'll see each other
Yes, sir.
in a week. All right?
Sounds
Good.
good to me. All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.